Thanks to Jersey Sports Zone, and Volpe makes almost the identical play.
At home, they call me Big Al, and I hit dingers.
Remember that young man, Big Al?
The Minnesota Lynx select Diamond Miller.
Video courtesy of Jersey Sports Zone.
It's an incredible goal, so that's a nice one. It's deserved of number one.
You got my food.
Number 2, New Jersey high school football.
Here on Jersey Sports Zone.
Everyone's excited for Thanksgiving, but here at Jersey Sports Zone, we're thinking about state championship weekend.
I know it's here.
He's Jay Cook. I'm Rich Chrampanis. This is episode 13 of Beyond the Score, presented to you by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. And yeah, we'll have a little Thanksgiving. We'll have a little Peaburg Easton.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a massive, massive game. But then 4 state championships Friday. We'll recover. Saturday.
Yeah.
2 more on Sunday, and then 1 the following Wednesday. And we've done our homework. Jay and myself, we're going to bring in James Mooney, and we are going to break down these state finals games. I can't wait.
We've got 7 great games. Some of the best teams in New Jersey are still playing coming into this week, and we're excited to see all the juicy matchups, kind of everything we've been wishing and hoping for as the end of the season approached. It's all right here in front of us, so we've been waiting for a lot of these games, and it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out.
When we come back, James Mooney joins us, and we will get ready for New Jersey high school football state championships.
It's one thing to win 1 award, but it's another 46 things to win 46 awards. New Jersey's most comprehensive academic healthcare system. Learn more at rwjbh.org/US News.
Hey, welcome back to the Beyond the Score podcast. It's now time to get into the nitty-gritty of the public school state championships. These are some interesting, intriguing games. We've been waiting a long time to see some of these matchups. And one of the teams who's got a pretty hairy road trip, it's going to be the first public state championship game, is Group 5. And that's going to be Washington Township. Now we've got James Mooney on with us. James, thank you for joining us. Let's break down this Group 5 state championship. You've seen as much Washington Township football as anybody. Let's break down this game. We're looking at the Minutemen. Record. Give me their best win, their record this year. What do they look like coming into this final?
Yeah, glad to be on with you guys again, and it's the best time of the year here, state championships. But we'll get started with Washington Township. They come in at 13-0, first time in program history they have reached that mark. I would say their best win was the first game against Kingsway. They came back multiple times in that second half to stay perfect, essentially clinch that number 1 seed. And these guys have been rocking and rolling all year long. It gets started with Andrew Osborne, running back, linebacker, Gabe Palaganis on the defensive line, Jalen Robinson, linebacker, plays some running back. That 3 really form the nucleus of that front 7 of a defense that has been pretty incredible all year long.
The other guy I like, James, is Cole Aquino. He's done a tremendous job. What have you seen from him? I feel like he's built for this stage, don't you think?
Absolutely. He is a veteran signal caller for these guys. They run the ball a lot, so they don't ask him to throw, but when they do, boy, he can spin it. Getting the ball to Paris Pratt, Jair Moore, and some of the other guys on that offense. He's just the kind of guy you want on a stage like this.
James, who's the X factor for Washington Township? Who's the guy that maybe goes under the radar a little bit, who doesn't get, all the praise, but is, could potentially play a massive role in this game?
With Washington Township, they're the type of team that it's a different guy every week. I'm going to go with Isaac Parra, defensive back. He had 2 interceptions in the sectional final against Old Bridge, one of them going for a pick 6. He has really elevated his game as we've gotten into the postseason.
And now we'll go to Jay and talk Passaic Tech. By the way, I feel a little like for the first time ever, I'm the Shore guy. I'm almost like on the outside looking in.
Right,
We've got 5 South Jersey teams playing in the Publix and a lot of North Jersey flavor. But this Passaic Tech team has been here before, and now they're looking to take that final step. They ran into some unbelievable Toms River North teams a few years back, and now they're back here at the finals.
Yeah, I'm sure they're glad that they don't have to see Coach Oz and the Mariners in this stage because it's been tough. But Coach Dem is the man. He's just the kind of leader you want if you're Passaic Tech going into this game. I look at this PCTI team as a team that is getting hot at the right time. 10-3 so far this season. You talked about the last time they were in this stage. They were a state finalist 2 years ago, so they have been here before. They know what it's like. They're not going to have any jitters or anything like that. They know what the stage looks like. I'm looking at Passaic Tech right now. Their best win this season, they do have 10. I like the sectional final win over West Orange, a 56-42 win. Shootout. Back and forth, crazy game. Everybody got involved. When the time was needed, the defense came up and made a couple stops. But for them to put up 56 points and beat a team that they lost to earlier in the season really says a lot about how much they grew this year. Some of the go-to guys for Passaic Tech. Kadir Young, the leading rusher on this team, just shy of 1,500 yards right now, 16 touchdowns on the season. He's kind of the motor of the offense. Ian McDuffie, I love this kid. This is one of the most fun and energetic junior recruits in the entire North Jersey region of this state. He is so much fun. Ian gets it done all over the field. That's a guy that Washington Township is going to have circled. I can promise you that. And Michael Morrow, one of the guys I interviewed when we did Camp Countdown with Passaic Tech earlier in the season. Michael is a 2-year captain, senior linebacker. He's kind of the heart and soul of this team. So it all kind of goes through Michael Morrow on the defensive side.
So I would say that Washington Township's the favorite. Who's the X factor, and what does Passaic Tech need to do to take that final step and become a state champ?
Yeah, look, Passaic Tech is going to run the ball. They're going to play tough defense. I think one guy who could potentially be an X factor is Tyson Watkins. Now, Gabe Miles, a quarterback, has started to get hot in recent weeks. And PCTI loves to run the ball. If they can get Washington Township to, they can lure them in with the run game, Tyson's going to be a big guy that they, kind of stretch the field with, a big play threat. 33 catches, 583 yards, 7 touchdowns this season. So you're looking at a guy who, when the ball gets in his hands, he's a problem. If Passaic Tech is going to win this game, they're going to have to kind of play their brand of football. They cannot give Washington Township any freebies. Don't give them a 50, 40, 30 yards to go on a drive. You've got to bury them. You got to make them earn it. You got to let this defense do what they do and make it tough out there for you. And look, the run game is going to be a big part. Kadir Young is a guy who's gotten better and better every single week. Can they get another, fantastic day out of Kadir Young, who's, about to hit 1,500 rushing yards? If they are hoisting a state championship trophy at the end of the day, it's going to be a big reason why will be Kadir Young.
So it's Passaic Tech, Washington Township. That game is Friday at MetLife Stadium. Let's fast forward to Sunday at Rutgers, the Group 4 state final. Familiar teams that have been there before. The Raiders of Ramapo against Winslow Township. And James, we're going to talk Winslow and all the good things they have, but I need to have you digest what happened on Saturday between Brick Memorial and Winslow. We talked last week on the pod where I was trying to talk myself into Brick Memorial might be able to give Winslow Township a game. Yep. They gave them a game, and how close did we have what would have been maybe the biggest upset in the entire state? I think we would agree if Brick Memorial kicked that field goal.
They were even closer than that, Rich. They had the ball at the 6-yard line in that fourth quarter.
Wow.
Driving, ready to punch it in, and the Winslow defense stepped up, came up with a huge third down sack to set up that field goal attempt before Brick would ultimately miss it. But yeah, Brick, I'm glad you said it because I was going to start there too. give credit to Brick Memorial. They completely flipped that script in the second half. They were down 14-0, got within 2, but Winslow did what they do best and make plays in big time.
Well, again, I'm astounded that Winslow was shut out in the second half, and that I think that's as much credit to Brick Memorial as it is anyone. And the Mustangs had that special team that we talked about way back then. We thought they were going to be really good, and it's not a lot of consolation right now, but that was a special team at Brick Memorial. So now we shift our focus on Winslow, who has been an absolute juggernaut, and a huge credit to the Eagles for finding out a way to win a game when maybe they didn't have their A-plus game on Saturday, and they're still here. And the question becomes, will they return to what they've been for the rest of the season, which has been absolutely nothing short of pure dominance?
Yeah, I want to point out a year ago, very similar. They were in a dogfight with Millville in the state semifinal, and then they came out in that Group 4 final against Phillipsburg and really opened it up.
That's a great point, James.
Yeah.
Good
so
job.
I'm sure Bill Belton will, and his staff will take a look at that tape against Brick Memorial and tighten the screws. And maybe that was a bit of a wake-up call to the Eagles, that they're not just going to cruise. They still have to put in the work and get the job done on the field.
So, James, kind of walk through the personnel, and I know that you had some recruiting news that you just broke here before we jumped on the pod, right? So another flip for a great Winslow player who's stepping up in class going to the Big Ten.
Yeah, Quade Hendricks flipping from UConn to the University of Minnesota over the weekend, actually just a few hours after that state semifinal. He has been tremendous for them this year, 9 touchdowns in 9 games, and some of those touchdowns have been top plays for sure. Unbelievable catches.
He's insane, man. That kid's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota is getting a good one there. But when you talk personnel, it all starts on that offense with Jalen Parker. Tied the state record for career passing touchdowns on Saturday with 105, ties former Timber Creek great Devin Leary. So his next touchdown pass, Parker will become the all-time leader in career touchdown passes. It all starts around him. He is orchestrated a very high-powered offense for 2 full seasons. Played a good amount of that season as a freshman. And he, when you talk best throwers of the football, very few guys can throw it like Jalen Parker. And when he's looking down the field, it's to Quade Hendricks, as we mentioned, but the main guy, Nikir Helton, a North Carolina commit, Bill Belichick, getting an absolute stud at wide receiver. And then we flip it over to the defensive side. You could pick out several different guys on that unit. The guy that's really been playing well the last few weeks has been Benji Carter, outside linebacker for them. Really gives this front 7 an edge, along with Robert Carstarfin and Caden Gray up along that front. Azar Hurd, an absolute hammer in the middle at middle linebacker. And then you've got Julian Peterson. He made some big plays in that state semifinal, the game-sealing interception, and an interception on a potential 2-point try late in that fourth quarter. So they've got guys all over the place. But the guy, the X factor, I will say it's Nakeem Powell, the running back committed to Delaware. Big part of Winslow's offense is staying on schedule. When he's getting those 4 or 5 yard runs to set up some of those shots that they like to take. Brick Memorial did a great job at the point of attack, limiting that run game in the second half. I'll be curious if Ramapo can do the same thing. And then we want to talk Winslow wins if. For me, it's they got to stay true to themselves. This is a team, they have won 23 straight games against New Jersey public schools. They know exactly who they are, and they've been here before as they look to defend the Group 4 state title.
James, that's a tremendous breakdown of Winslow.
Does anybody know Winslow better than James Mooney? I mean, holy crow.
That was a breakdown right there, and that's because James has seen a lot of Winslow. So now I'm going to turn it over to Jay Cook, and he's going to match James because you know who Jay's seen a lot of? The Raiders of Ramapo. You know that team. I mean, they should name a sandwich after you or something up there because you're there all the time. And one of the great North Jersey teams. Now, they've gotten here to this level Remember, they ran into that mainland buzzsaw, and I think maybe you start there where they got to kind of avoid that and figure out how to make this a game right away.
Yeah, look, I mean, for Ramapo, they need to, and look, they have done this. Last year, they go up to Phillipsburg in the Group 4 state semifinal, and they got their butts kicked. And Peaburg went on to lose in that state final, as we just talked about. Ramapo beat them last week. They go up to Peaburg. They took care of business. So they're able to, kind of exercise one of those demons. Now, can they get back and beat another juggernaut South Jersey team on the same stage? It's to be seen. If Ramapo is going to do it, they have to, really rely on the guys that have gotten them there. Casey Grusser. We have talked about Casey a lot this season. I look at one of the most efficient public school quarterbacks in the entire state, definitely at least in North Jersey. Casey's just been a model of consistency. Just over 2,000 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, only 2 picks. Only 2 picks for Casey Grusser. He is not going to turn the ball over. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way. I like Casey's ability to run. That is one of the big reasons why they are able to move the ball up and down the field so efficiently and so well. Casey's just about 500 yards, double-digit rushing touchdowns this year. So Winslow is going to have to keep him in check and keep him in the pocket. Joseph Yasis, a guy
I like this kid.
Yeah, JY, that's what they call him. He has been their top target. He missed almost all of last season with an injury, but coming back this year has earned Casey's trust. Has been the go-to receiving option, 13 touchdown catches for JY this season. He is going to be the guy that Casey looks to in big spots, in clutch spots, on 3rd and longs, in the red zone. That's his guy. So Joseph is going to be a big, big part of this game plan. And I like Liam Hayward. I know these are all offensive guys right now, but Ramapo is going to run the heck out of the ball. When you look at Ramapo, you look at all the receivers and the way they're built, you might not think that they're going to run the ball heavily, but they run the ball a ton. They do. They will keep you honest. They're going to make you play up because of Liam Hayward. This is a 2-sport athlete, a really, really athletic kid. Liam, just about 900 rushing yards this season, 13 rushing touchdowns. When they get in the red zone, they get in short yardage situations, goal-to-go scenarios. It's going to be a lot of Liam Hayward. So
they seem to be mixing in the Gino Gorga as well.
Gino is going to get some run. He's playing a lot of linebacker too. If they want to get real physical, they'll bring Gino in a short yardage situation. They will not hesitate to do that. But Liam is so solid. He's a tall kid. He's not your prototypical high school running back. He's a very tall kid, so he's kind of hard to get on the ground. He's kind of hard to handle, especially in those tough spots. So those are the go-to guys for Ramapo. The X factor for me. We talked about Winslow and their ability to throw the ball and challenge teams downfield. Ramapo has a guy, Jack Schneider, with 5 interceptions this season. He's come up in big spots throughout the year. With interceptions, had one late in the 4th quarter against Northern Highlands a couple weeks ago in a state sectional final win. Jack had a pick 6. I saw a pick 6 of his against Wayne Valley. He's always kind of lurking. He's lurking. He's right around the line of scrimmage. If you're going to, take a check down, maybe you don't want to go so deep, you got to keep an eye on Jack Schneider because he has the ability to step up and make an interception. If Ramapo can steal a possession from Winslow in this game, that would be big. But I think for Ramapo to win, they need to not get cute. Don't get cute. Just kind of do what you do, right? You're going to run the ball. You've got this game plan that you've worked on all season. Running the ball effectively throughout the game, it's worked. They come out against Northern Highlands a couple weeks ago. They throw a 65-yard touchdown right out of the gate. Bang, first play of the game, touchdown, 7-0. So they've got this thing where they're able to keep teams unbalanced and uneasy, but they don't get away from themselves. Don't throw the ball 45 times in this game. Don't throw the ball 50 times in this game. You need to lean on the run game and keep that Winslow offense off the field. If they can do that, the playmakers can step up and give this team a shot to win.
Time of possession could very well be Ramapo's best friend. And
yes.
All I want is I want the same thing that happened for James on Saturday. I want a good close ball game.
Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome if Ramapo and Winslow tangle. So that game is set for Sunday at Rutgers. Let's go to Group 3 now. Cedar Creek and Old Tappan. This game is Friday at MetLife Stadium. James, we've got to give a huge tip of the cap to Cedar Creek. They have played 2 back-to-back incredible games, incredible finishes. Homedale, which I thought everyone thought this was going to be Homedale and Old Tappan. Big credit to Cedar Creek going to the Jersey Shore and trailing 30-20 at the half. They flipped the script. Everyone in Monmouth County is talking about the spot on the Jack Cannon play there that ultimately resulted in the win. But hey, he still would have had to go another 45, 50 yards for that game-winning score. And again, I think Cedar Creek did an unbelievable job, particularly in the second half. And we're learning a lot about these playmakers on this team, aren't we, James?
Absolutely. I have to laugh a little bit. You've heard some of the former NFL guys saying, oh, nothing happens at halftime. You have an orange, you chill out a little bit. Cedar Creek did not chill out at halftime against Homedale. They figured out, they made some tweaks and were able to completely flip that game on its head in the second half to punch a ticket to the Group 3 state final, having just an incredible run these past few weeks.
Is that their biggest win this year? I mean, I know we've kind of got, this layout here. We were talking about some of these big wins. They've had some big wins. The win against Homedale, I mean, where do you rank that? Or do you like
it's that against the mainland win, right, James?
Right, it's got to be one of those two.
I mean, I would say it's the Homedale game. But man, yeah, the finish of that mainland game certainly
that was crazy.
gives it a couple extra points. But I'll go Homedale just because, like Rich said, they were down 30-20 against one of the best offenses in the state, one of the best offensive players in Jack Cannon, and found a way to relatively shut them down over those final 2 quarters.
These two schools are so far apart from each other. They don't know anything about each other at all. For the people up in North Jersey that are watching, give me some guys from Cedar Creek that Coach Melody is going to lean on in this game.
I think you got to start with the quarterback, Frenchman Junior Bethea. Also
What
plays
a
some
name.
defensive back.
That's a great name.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like a first-team All-State name right there.
And he is playing like a first-team All-State player. 6 touchdowns, I think, in the state semi. 2 interceptions on defense. What hasn't he done for them so far in this postseason? But then the next guy you got to talk about is Amir Dunbar, committed to Maine, running back, linebacker. He is the bread and butter of that offense. A bruising running back. You're going to have to prepare yourselves for a true battle when they're giving him the football. And then you look at a guy like Jameer Campfield, a Bryant commit, wide receiver, defensive back, really adds a nice explosive element on the outside along with Gian King. And then for me, the X factor, I'm going to go with Justice Payton, linebacker, plays some fullback, H-back for them, 100-plus tackles, leading them on defense. This is a tough-nosed football team that has a flair for the explosive plays, as we saw in that mainland game with a 65-yard touchdown with about 20 seconds to go. And so when you flip to this team will win if, for me, they have to continue to seize the moment. They've had second-half comebacks in the last 3 playoff games. They needed a touchdown in the fourth quarter to get by Pleasantville. They needed that late touchdown to get by Mainland. A second-half comeback against Homedale. I think if they continue to rise to the challenge and seize the moment, they very well could be going home with the Group 3 state title.
So now we switch over to Old Tappan, Jay, a team that you and I have both seen in person.
For sure.
I think last week we hyped up hey, Old Tappan, West Morris, battle of unbeatens. I think as far as teams that made resounding statements, Old Tappan this past weekend might be on the top of the list because they dismantled an excellent West Morris team. Running clock in the state semis, that doesn't happen very often. And Old Tappan just reminded everyone that they are unequivocally the real deal.
They are. Last year's defending Group 3 state champions. They've won 2 of the last 3 Group 3 state championships, and you know, they're going to make it 3, potentially going to go try and make it 3 out of 4. So, yeah, this is a really, really good high school football team. At its core. Another guy, you know, we talk about these North Jersey underrated quarterbacks. You talked about Casey Grusser. Zach Michelli is a surgeon out there. Fantastic.
And he's really, from what I saw in the Northern Highlands win back in the earlier part of the regular season, he's the straw that stirs the drink. High IQ, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and then he can also make crazy plays if need be.
Deceptively athletic is what I
like that.
Would call Zach. And I told him that to his face. I said, man, I didn't know that was in your bag. I did not know. And that was, the game-winning touchdown pass, which I picked out to be their best win this season, a 28-24 win over Ramapo back in early September. I mean, that showed what this team's able to do. Zach had this incredible winding, he looked like, I don't know, like Terry Bradshaw or Jack Stabler. Kenny Stabler. Kenny Stabler. He was like running around and got this incredible throw off to Shane Small in the back of the end zone. That's what Zach can do. If the play breaks down, he's got the wheels and the smarts to figure out how to get out of a really tough spot. So I like Zach Michelli as one of the go-to guys. Shane Small, the receiver on the receiving end of that game-winning touchdown. Look, if there's a kid who's going to get a ton of offers at the end of this season, I'm going to put Shane Small at one of the tops of the list there. He looks the part. His brother is a D1 offensive lineman at Duke. Shane is a major, major problem on both offense and defense. Cedar Creek is going to have to find somebody on that defense. We talked about that defense might have a couple guys. They're going to have to find somebody to handle him because you cannot let him wreck a game. Another guy, and this is a guy you've seen have big spots, Ryan Michelli.
Yeah.
This is Zach's older brother. Ryan protects him up front on the offensive line. On the defensive side, how about 10 sacks for Ryan Michelli? One of the top sack leaders in North Jersey. He's been one of the go-to guys for this defense that, look, week in and week out is kind of just ruined team season. So Ryan's going to be a big-time part of that defense.
And then you talk about the X factor. You got him on the list. I saw him. You talk about what Michelli was able to do athletically. I think one of the best plays I've shot this entire year was in that Northern Highlands game when Michelli looked like he was in the grasp. He escapes and throws a touchdown pass, and Leo Eder makes an unreal catch in the back of the end zone. I saw he had 2 touchdown catches in the state semi win against West Morris. So Leo Eder's a guy, along with Shane Small, that can get open and make plays.
For sure. Leo Eder and Christakis Nicolo are 2 guys that had their coming out parties in the state final last season against Mainland. They both had interceptions late in that game to help Old Tappan preserve the win. These guys have taken on massive roles this season. Cedar Creek is going to challenge Old Tappan down the field. They challenged Cannon and Homedale. They went toe for toe with them, right, James? I mean, they were like, hey, you want to go deep? We're going to go deep. We're going to challenge you. Leo and Christakis are going to be guys that need to hold up in the back end of this Old Tappan defense. It's going to be pivotal. We've seen these guys show up in championship moments. They're going to have to do it again because Cedar Creek is a team that is going to, definitely put up a lot of points.
Well, there you go. 5, 4, and 3. We're just getting started here. Let's hydrate. Let's take a break. The breakdowns were incredible by James and Jay, and we're just getting started. So when we come back, we'll go to Group 2 and Group 1. This is Beyond the Score, State Championship Preview Edition. We'll continue to look at the film, and we'll be right back.
Dream big, they say. We say dream bigger. Over 3 million square feet of bigger, so you can plunge deeper. Play in the snow longer. Wonder greater. Pose with your friends sillier. Shop with your family happier. Make every meal tastier. And float higher than ever. Whatever your dream is, come live it big time at American Dream.
ACI Medical and Dental School in Eatontown is celebrating 20 years of new beginnings and 20 years of new careers. Start your new career as a medical or dental assistant in less than 4 months. From a talented faculty and staff to state-of-the-art equipment and training, ACI's medical and dental training programs are designed to help students succeed. Registration is open for day and evening classes. Visit aci.edu to begin your healthcare journey. We're continuing our state championship football previews. James Mooney joining us once again. James did a tremendous job breaking down the South Jersey representatives in 5, 4, and 3. Now we're going to go to the Group 2 and Group 1 state championships, and we're going to start with the last state championship, which will be Wednesday, a week from today when this podcast drops, at Rutgers. Shabazz against Camden. Woo. Now, the first thing that pops in my mind, they're going to go into this spacious SHI Stadium. Both of those bands, to hear those sounds echoing into the Piscataway night is going to be really awesome, isn't it, James?
Oh, it's going to be incredible. I have not seen the Shabazz band, but the Camden band is something special. They really do such a great job over there.
When Shabazz beat West Orange, I was parked behind the end zone, in the little bus slot.
Yeah.
And I was putting the social clip together. The band was playing in the street after the game before they loaded up on the bus. And it was like I got my own private concert. It was incredible.
Yeah, well regarded as one of the most energetic and fun bands. Shabazz is, I know that for sure. And look, we've all covered Camden basketball games at the Rack, right? And we've all seen all those. That place is insane when they get cooking. So, yeah, boy, what an atmosphere that's going to be.
So, James, what's your take on Camden, a team that has battled its way here to get to the state final and scored a big win in the semis against Haddonfield?
Yeah, Camden is clicking on all cylinders right now through the playoffs, coming in with a record of 10-2. They scored at least 35 points in every single playoff game, so they are playing some of their best football when it matters most right now.
Tell us some of the guys that we need to look out for and an X factor, and just kind of give us a quick scouting report here on Camden.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you got to get started with Ibn Muhammad, Syracuse commit, plays wide receiver and defensive back for them. He really does a little bit of everything for them. Big playability on both sides of the football. Then you look at Ahmad Jones, quarterback. He has really found his rhythm now that he has gotten acclimated. Was at Pleasantville for the last 3 years, transferred in for his senior year, and they have really found another gear on this offense. And then you flip it over to the defensive side where Camden can absolutely get after you, and it starts with Jerome Foster up front, leading them in sacks. Max Preps has him at 17.5 for the season. And that's only one guy. They also have got Halim Muhammad, who's up there, almost double-digit sacks for the season. Ibn Muhammad, as a defensive back, 8 sacks.
Wow.
So they will find ways to attack you. For the X factor, I will go with Talib Shakir, defensive back. He had a pick 6 in the state semifinals. You could also go with Christian Braxton and Roman Duckett, a great 1-2 punch at running back. A nice thunder and lightning combination that they've got there behind a big offensive line led by JoJo White, a fellow Syracuse commit.
Great job on Camden's breakdown there, James. And now we go to Shabazz, a team that I got to see early in the season, beat West Orange at West Orange. That was the beginning of the Nasir Gaines era with a massive, massive win. And we also saw them last year. They made it to the state final, lost to Rumson. So that's certainly going to be the motivating factor. Motivation won't be a problem for Shabazz. And they're a fun team to watch, Jay.
They're incredibly fun. They're incredibly deep. If the plan for Shabazz is to keep these kids in the city and not let them get out, boy, oh boy, Shabazz is a sleeping giant. And this is just the beginning of potentially a massive era for Shabazz football and Newark football. This is a fun team, man. They've got guys that contribute all over the place. Kareem Costin is stepped into this quarterback role and done a fantastic job. Very efficient. A little bit of a gunslinger to him. He's going to take his shots, and some of those have landed this year. So you got to look at Kareem Costin. Zayden McDonald, Stanford commit, another guy.
This guy might be the best Swiss Army knife in the state. I would love. It's a wish list after seeing Andrew Luck getting off. I would love to get Andrew Luck on the pod. And I wanted to say, what are you going to do with Zayden McDonald? Because I would love to see, are you going to put him, is he a strong safety in college? What are you going to turn him into? But he makes plays, running the ball, catching the ball. He's so versatile. And on top of that, he's a great kid. I got to talk to him at MetLife in the preseason, and he just got me fired up for Shabazz football. That kid's a great representative of New Jersey high school football. He's one of my favorite players, Zayden McDonald.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's a guy that has really stepped up and become a leader for this team as a senior. Back-to-back Stanford commits and back-to-back seasons for Shabazz. Yeah. So, I mean, that says a lot about what this program is doing, off the field and hitting the books hard. Zayden's got his head screwed on right and really a great representative for the Shabazz team. Another guy I'm going to look out for, Nasir Richardson. I've been hearing his name since he was in 8th grade. Coaches tell me this kid is so legit. Nasir's a sophomore now. He is really blossomed into one of the top ball hawks in public school football in New Jersey. You gotta man mark him. You gotta be careful of him because you throw one up, you throw up a 50-50 ball, it's more like an 80-20 ball to him. So you really have to be careful challenging Shabazz deep down the field when Nasir Richardson is there. The X factor for Shabazz, and I feel like you would agree with this, is not anybody that's going to be on the field on Wednesday. It's Nasir Gaines.
Yep.
Big body Nas. It's the coach. It's that big body era. These kids have just absorbed his energy and his attitude and everything that he has brought to this program this year. It's just remarkable to see. This guy loves Newark. He loves being a part of Newark. He loves being the face of this program. If they can get one more win out of this season, he's going to have a big reason for that because of his ability to motivate, his ability to figure out a way to get a win in a tough spot. I like Coach Gaines as the X factor in this game. I know he's not on the field, but I think it's a major reason why they are here.
He's going to set the tone throughout this entire week and know not to get these kids too jacked up here in the early part of the week. And then he's going to unleash a Nas Gaines post-game talk, if you're allowed in the circle, which they let me do, which I appreciate, is a special thing to watch.
Oh, man.
It's entertaining, and it's what football is all about. It's not easy to go out there and put your body and your health out on the line every Friday night. And these kids at Shabazz just – I think they feed off of his energy. So that's a great X factor there, Jay.
They do. That's just a reality. Shabazz and Camden in a state final. Can we just, for 1 second, just absorb that? And
it's the end of the season. It's our last game of the season.
Last game, only game that day. You got all day to get worked up over this game. The fact that these two cities are meeting for a state championship, I think it means a lot to a lot of people around the entire state and the history of football in New Jersey. So Shabazz and Camden, Newark versus Camden for a state championship is just so enticing.
And now we'll go to our last preview of the Publix, which is Group 1. This game is Glassboro against Cedar Grove. James, we've talked a lot about Glassboro, and rightfully so. I believe we're starting to run out of adjectives and superlatives to praise this team, but we will try and do it one more time. Take it away.
Yeah, I think you're right. We really are running out of things to say, but they give us so many reasons to say it. Glassboro has been the standard bearer in Group 1 for the past 2 years. This is their third straight year in a state final. Now, I will say that they're going back to Rutgers. The last time they lost was the Group 1 state final 2 years ago at Rutgers University. So I'm sure that Timmy Breaker will be using that as a little bit of extra motivation as Glassboro goes into this rematch with Cedar Grove from a year ago. They come in at 13.
The chance of sleeves is 0, correct, for Timmy Breaker?
Absolutely 0. Absolutely 0.
Chance of sleeves. That's so good.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't matter how cold it is.
Yeah.
Nope. And it's one of the reasons why we love Timmy Breaker and why his players love him too. They come in at a 13-0, 26 games in a row they've won. I would say their best win this year was against Haddonfield, week 0 at the Battle at the Beach, playing a team that ended up in a Group 2 state semifinal, and they handled business there at Rowan University. And then when you talk Glassboro, you have to start with their 3 big guys, Xavier Sabb, Amari Sabb, Brandon Simmons. Xavier, the number 1 prospect in the Garden State, a top 10 prospect nationally in the class of 2027. What doesn't he do? He wide receiver, defensive back. He really can do it all for them. Amari Sabb has been the Swiss Army knife for them on offense. Plays some defense as well. Offensively, pulling up the numbers here. How about almost 1,500 all-purpose yards, 27 touchdowns.
Wow.
For the senior this year. And they have been on a mission. Flip it over to the defensive side with Brandon Simmons, 21 sacks this year on the defensive line. And he's not the only guy on that defense. Tasheen Butler at linebacker, over 100 tackles. Maurice Davis Jr., 11 sacks. They really are just loaded on all levels. And it's going to be interesting to see how they will come out in that Group 1 state final. A guy that I think has really announced himself this year is Mekhi Parker, sophomore wide receiver, defensive back. He is at 13 touchdowns. 13 touchdowns, over 800 yards offensively, giving Jack O'Connell another weapon to work with. Jack O'Connell also having himself a heck of a season. How about over 2,400 yards, 36 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
What's the recipe for Glassboro to get a win here? How do they do it? How do they pull this thing out? How do they get another win in another state championship?
So I think I'm going to start with something that has nothing to do with the game itself. I think for them to get this job done, they got to block out the noise. As much as I want them to listen to this podcast, this is the type of stuff they don't need to listen to right now. They have been the heavy favorite to repeat since last December, really since the clock hit 000s at the end of last year's Group 1 state final. They know exactly who they are, and they just need to go out and continue to play their brand of football, which it's a punishing running game. We saw Kenny Smith go for over 400 yards in that state final a year ago. We'll see Devon Barr, Amari Sabb, JoJo DeLeese, a three-headed monster in the backfield as they look to pound the football and then set up those shots to Xavier Sabb, Mekhi Parker, and Amari Sabb. And then on defense, they're just going to attack, flat-out attack. That has been their MO all year, and I wouldn't expect to see anything less from them.
And then you flip it to the Cedar Grove side. Mm-hmm. This is a rematch.
It is.
And Cedar Grove was dominated by Glassboro, so they have the chance for redemption. And Jay, they needed a last-second win against Butler to get here, which we'll talk about here in a little bit with their kicker. But this is an interesting storyline. Can Cedar Grove be competitive against Glassboro in round 2?
Yeah, it's a tough question because we saw the Cedar Grove offense last year and how high-powered they were just get stifled for 3 quarters, right? I think it was a 14-14 game after one, James, if I'm not mistaken. It was a tight game early, and then You had Glassboro kind of rattle off 5-6 touchdowns in a row to kind of bury the game in the final 3 quarters. Cedar Grove is going to have to find a way to prevent that from happening, to not let the Glassboro avalanche get started, because once it happens, they string together 1 or 2 touchdowns. It's been an impossible task to kind of overcome that for just about every team that's played them this year. How do they do that? Well, they got to lean on some of the guys. Pierce Asfalge has now taken over starting quarterback this year as a senior. Just about 2,800 yards for Pierce, 20 touchdowns.
They like to throw it, don't they?
They love to throw it.
They throw it around.
They do. That offense is made to go down the field and be vertical. Coach Gogarty has figured out a way to make that very, very successful. Now, for Pierce, though, he's also the team's leading rusher. You're looking at a guy who could potentially, if he has a great game, could have 1,000 yards this season on the ground. Also 15 touchdown runs. Pierce is a big kid. Does not look like your typical Group 1 quarterback. Big, tall kid back there. He is a physical player and loves to get down in the nitty gritty. Another guy who is just a monster, Thomas Canatero. I love this kid. I saw Cedar Grove earlier in the season against Verona. This kid is a bully. Boy, he just gets out there and uses his big frame and throws people around and TFLs and sacks. You're looking at a guy with potentially about to be possibly 100 tackles if he has a great game too. Also, their short yardage guy in the ground game. He's a Mike Allstott type running back. Just a big bull kid. He's going to get down there and knock people over. Xavier Andahar is another one for Cedar Grove, one of the state leaders in receiving yards this season. Just shy of 1,000 yards. Does have 73 grabs. We look at Cedar Grove. 73. I know, 73 in 13 games. It's pretty incredible. That is kind of the three-headed monster for Cedar Grove, and is going to be the guys that play a big role in this game.
Now, when you talk X Factor, there's no question Cedar Grove has an X Factor.
They do. They
have a weapon that any coach would dream of, which is an elite kicker. Sebastian Kovacs, whoever shot the video.
It was pretty good.
Cedar Grove did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And it was clearly somebody very closely associated with the program, because if you watch the clip on Jersey Sports Zone, which I think has more views than Berg and Bosco, which that's hard to do.
That was incredible.
It's 21-21, overtime's looming. Sebastian Kovacs from 48 yards. You think, okay, maybe this thing will sneak over the bar. Take a look at our video.
Yeah.
It looks like that might have been good from 53 to 55. He crushed that kick.
Smoked it. Yeah.
Walk-off game winner to go back to the state finals. You think about the luxury of we're in the 45 to 50 yard range. Now let's wheel out Sebastian. That's a luxury that SEC, ACC, and NFL coaches have, and that's about it. Not Group 1 New Jersey high school football. Kid cranked a 48-yarder. I mean, was our number 1 play of the week this week on Top 10.
Deservedly so.
I mean, that's like a unicorn.
It is. He's an incredible athlete, too. I saw him pick up a scoop and score in that Verona game just about 2 months ago. So you're looking at a guy that if you're in a tight spot, you need a field goal, you can go to him. I would also be really interested to see him potentially get the ball in a fake field goal scenario too. I mean, get him in space. He's shown off that he is incredibly athletic. He's got wheels. Look, I'm sure the coaching staff over there at Cedar Grove knows what they have in Sebastian. He's come up in a couple big spots this year. It's you're looking at the biggest favorite of any state champion, any state championship game. Glassboro is the biggest favorite going into this week. So it's an uphill battle for Cedar Grove. They know what this team looks like, though. They're not going to be surprised, right? They know what the Sab brothers look like. They know what Brandon Simmons can do to a game. There's no surprises anymore. So that's the Group 1 final. It should be very interesting.
James, tremendous job. I know that South Jersey more than represented, so you got 5 teams playing from South Jersey for public state championships. Excited to see you on Friday at MetLife. We're going to meet tomorrow and figure out who's doing what and what game, and James will be there front and center representing South Jersey. So enjoy the Thanksgiving with your family, and we'll see you at MetLife.
Appreciate it, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, and see you at MetLife.
Let's take a break, Jay. When we come back,
Yeah.
I mean, if that isn't enough, now we get to 2 non-public state championship games. You and I have a lot to talk about with non-public A and non-public B. We'll take a break, and we'll get into 2 massive games at MetLife.
I know.
When we return.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Get back the life you love.
The state championships get started Friday morning, 10 a.m., MetLife. And what a way to start. We've got the non-public B state championship game between DePaul Catholic and Paramus Catholic. Top 2 seeds get the job done. And Jay, DePaul has had the pedigree, has been on top of the non-public B mountain for the most part for the better part of 5 or 6 years with a little bit of RBC thrown in there. Now this time around, Paramus Catholic gets their chance to maybe take that step and elevate their program to where they want to get to.
For sure. It's a big, big spot for PC. Look, they took their lumps earlier in the season. Again, you know, you play in this United Red, United White divisions, these 2 big boy non-public divisions. It's tough. And if you're not fully healthy out of the gate right away, or things aren't, you don't get a couple bounces right away, things can get out of hand. But Paramus Catholic, after a slow start, has gotten to 6-6. And that's really an incredible testament to this team and the coaching from Coach Russo, and the level of playmakers that they have. They've got some guys on this team. Should be very interesting.
Yeah, the guy that I don't even want to skip ahead here. The guy you have as the X factor is the one that jumps out at me.
Sure.
Paramus Catholic beat RBC twice at home to get here. The first time around, Chuck Odo had about 55 yards rushing in the first win. What did he do this last week?
I know. He had, I'm looking at it right here to make it bold, 22, 301, and 3 touchdowns. Just an absolute runaway train of a player. He got banged up earlier in the season, and it looks like he is healthy now. I mean, to go over 300 yards is insane. He's going to be a big, big piece of this offense. They love to run the ball there at PC. They're not going to be afraid to do that. When you got a guy that can rip off big plays like that, how do you not give him the rock? So, yeah, he's going to be a massive piece to this game plan.
And they talk about some of the other go-to guys here on Paramus Catholic.
Yeah, look, I love Nakai Martin. Early in the season, against St. Peter's Prep, I saw him. He's just a massive big play waiting to happen. You throw the ball up to him, good things usually happen. Incredible speed, incredible elusiveness when he gets in space. When he's got, one-on-one with a DB, I mean, it's a nightmare to tackle this kid. So Nakai Martin is a very, very threatening player on this PC offense. You look at a guy that plays a little bit of both offense and defense, whose recruiting profile is skyrocketing right now, A.J. Lopez. A.J. Lopez had the pick 6 in the first Red Bank Catholic game. He had a touchdown against DePaul Catholic early in the season. So in a big spot, AJ's a guy that they can really lean on. And another kid, North Carolina State commit. I love this kid, Jordan Moretta. Big thumper in the middle of that PC defense. Could potentially play a little bit of tight end too if it all works out and they want to get him the rock. But Jordan is kind of the stalwart to the middle of their front seven, and he's a big time player. So those are some of the guys for PC.
And you look back in earlier the regular season, DePaul beat Paramus Catholic 26-14, and you got a good note here. It was 14-6 PC at the half.
It was.
So I think Paramus Catholic has gotten a lot better since that regular season meeting and have the confidence that they can not only play with DePaul, but in the right setting, they could beat DePaul and become a state champ.
It's very possible. It's very possible. They have a bit of a blueprint, right? What did we do in the first half of that game? What were some things that we liked? What are some play calls that we liked? What are a couple plays that didn't land that we can maybe try again? When DePaul gets rolling, it's tough to stop. And that's what happened in the second half of that game. They let Zamet take over. They've got to keep Derek at bay and limit those big plays. We're going to talk about DePaul in a second, but their run game is really kicked up in recent weeks. So PC has an idea of what a winning first half looks like against DePaul Catholic. Next question is, can we get it together for another 48 full minutes and pull out this win?
I think that's one of the fascinating things about the journey to a state final. I think in August, you and I said, DePaul's going to steamroll. They're going to win a state championship easy. It's a no-brainer. Lock it up. And now all of a sudden, you sit here and look and get to the end of the road, and you can start to talk yourself into PC giving DePaul a game.
They did.
But DePaul is the defending state champs. They've got a pedigree. They know how to shine on this stage. They know how to peak at the ultimate moment. There have been some peaks and valleys along the way, Jay.
For sure.
I was doing a double check. I almost called maintenance or customer service to be like, am I getting this information correctly?
Right.
That St. John Vianney is trailing by 4 to DePaul late in the third quarter. I did not see that coming. But good teams figure out a way to win when everything's going their way. And Nick Campanelli and DePaul personify that year in and year out. And here they are, and they are getting their shot once again.
Yeah, look, it's the swan song for Derek Zamet. This is the last game of his high school football career. Derek had an incredible junior season, right? Over 30 touchdowns, nearly 3,000 passing yards. The offense just hasn't clicked like that this year. It just hasn't, right? You lose 2 Notre Dames in Ohio State. Things are going to look different. But Derek is still Derek, and he is one of the most polished passers in the entire state of New Jersey. We talk about his footwork. We talk about his decision-making ability. Those are all things that give him an edge. And for them to win this game, it's going to have to be a big-time Derek Zamet game. They're going to have to get one more fantastic game out of Derek. The other 2 go-to guys for this team, these were really the core guys that I talked to in the preseason. Derek 1, Logan Nagel 2, Marlon Bright 3. Logan Nagel creeping up on 10 sacks this year, recently flipped from Pitt to Miami. Logan is a big behemoth of a kid. I know you've seen him on the football field. He's massive. Yeah. I mean, he's huge.
You watch him for 45 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna offer him.
Yeah. Offer in, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're sending the offer in now. He's big, mean, and physical. I think he's going to be a handful for PC. And Marlon Bright, a guy who was committed to Penn State, his recruitment is now open in light of the James Franklin news recently. But Marlon on the football field is Derek's blind side, left tackle, big-time recruit. You talk about big guys in Logan Nagel. I think Marlon's a little bit bigger than Logan. I mean, Marlon is like almost 6'7". I mean, he's enormous. These are the core guys for DePaul Catholic.
And now you talk about an X factor. Another guy that I kind of got enamored with when I saw him up close and personal at Peters was Jackson Bastante.
Fantastic player. Logan gets a lot of the attention on the defensive line. That opens up one-on-one opportunities for Jackson. incredibly athletic. We just talked about that. The touchdown against St. Peter's Prep. I saw him earlier in the year just take over a game against Pope John. He's a really, really fun player to watch. One of their go-to senior leaders on this team. So if Jackson Bastante is getting one-on-one looks on the outside, I like his chances and his ability to make a couple big plays in this game.
So I think you nailed it. Big-time Zamet performance. Is this the way the script is going to be written? If Derek Zamet can have another Derek Zamet shines kind of game, close to an incredible high school career no matter what happens on Friday morning, and can DePaul continue its reign in non-public B? That's the question. And where is Paramus Catholic at? Because they're clearly have risen the ranks here. And the back-to-back wins against Red Bank Catholic, 50 points.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So I think this has the potential to be a whale of a ball game.
It should be a lot of fun. We just talked about Paramus Catholic really running the ball well. DePaul quietly has kind of evolved into a run-first offense over the last couple weeks. Just about 60 carries, almost 500 yards rushing over the last couple of weeks. They're averaging 16.9 yards per carry. Almost 2 first downs worth of yardage every time they run the ball. That has been the focus. Has that been by design to take a little bit off Derek's plate and make sure he's at 100% going into this game? It could be, but it also could be, hey, let's roll with the hot hand and roll with what's working right now. Let's get this run game going. It's been a little bit of everybody. Everybody's getting involved, but the run game has come alive, and we'll see. We'll find out Friday morning, but that could be a big part of this game.
And then the finale of 4 games on Friday. No shopping for Jay or me. No Black Friday.
No.
We're going to be living at MetLife.
Yeah.
And we're going to cap it off with St. Joe's Montvale against Don Bosco Prep for the non-public A-State Championship. The 4-year reign of Bergen Catholic is over. Congratulations to Vito Campanelli and the Crusaders on an incredible run. But now we've got Bosco Joe's. I was at this game in the regular season. It was fascinating. And the one thing I want to point out is, St. Joe's Montvale had those 2 tough losses, and you and I kind of gave them a pep talk on the pod.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, you're not that far off. And something clicked, and Augie Hoffman has St. Joe's Montvale. I spoke to him after the game, after that massive win over St. Peter's Prep, which was an unbelievable game.
What a great
back
game.
and forth and back and forth. And Augie said, they said it was going to take me 4 or 5 years to get Joe's back up and running. We're here.
Yeah.
They're there. They're playing. They're a dangerous team. If you want to start talking about St. Joe's, it kind of begins and ends with Nate Bailey.
It's all about Nate Bailey.
He is unbelievable.
It is. And I don't want to take anything away from anybody else when we say that, but Nate is, and Augie said it in the preseason, he's the lungs to this team. He gives us everything we need to go forward. And you look at Nate against St. Peter's, against Bergen Catholic. In these big-time games, he's constantly delivering.
You said it last week on the pod, and I'm there at Cave and Point. And I'm like, this Jay Cook knows what he's talking about. Because the one thing that stuck in my head, you were like, he's so hard to tackle.
Incredibly
he's
hard.
so elusive. In the first play, if you watch our highlights, they're kind of working their way down the field, and they throw Lamar Best throws like a little 2-yard pass, and Bailey makes this cut, and this poor St. Peter's defender goes flopping, and he just made a 5-yard play into like a 22-yard play. And that's Nate Bailey in a nutshell.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's so hard to tackle, so elusive. He's got a great motor on him. He's everything good about this St. Joe's team is embodied in Nate Bailey. Some of the other guys, though, the guy that is, clearing running lanes for Nate when he's, back at Wildcat or taking snaps at running back, Christian Alvarez. Christian, a fantastic high school wrestler, was second in the state last year, 285 pounds. He is their big-time blocking tackle. A lot of the action runs behind him, a UMass commit. Christian is going to have to really play a big-time role in this game to make sure that Lamar's got time to throw and Nate's got the running lanes to operate.
So the recipe here for what Joe's needs to do to become a state champ is Christian Alvarez and that unit, that offensive line.
Yeah.
So they set the tone in this game. They race out to a 13-0 lead, and they almost go up 3 scores. Peter's defense makes a stop on 4th and 4 from about the plus 40, and Peters came to life. Shout out to Tyler Bell. Jay and I have been big fans of him.
Mm-hmm.
He threw 3 pro passes in that game that were 3 touchdown passes. So now it's 21-13. Joe's is reeling. And what do? They just go back to, let's lean on Alvarez and that O-line. Let's get Nate Bailey to get going. They get a touchdown to make it 21-19. And now they get the ball back early in the 4th quarter. They're losing 21-19. A trip to the state championships on the line. So how does St. Joe's get to MetLife? 15 plays, 80 yards, 9 minutes of clock.
Incredible.
And you do that, that is, it's Nate Bailey, but it's that offensive line that just said, we're going to set the tone, we're going to write this script in the 4th quarter, and we are going to get to MetLife. So again, when we say Christian Alvarez, I dub him the leader of that offensive line.
For sure.
That whole unit is the reason why Joe's is playing. And as Augie said, tell your parents to alter their plans for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Because we got some work to do. We got to walk through before we go to MetLife.
That's the least surprising thing I've ever heard. Augie saying, no mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, fellas. Like, maybe get the O-line some stuffing, right?
Yeah.
Make sure those guys eat. But everybody else, we're going through walkthroughs. The X factor to me in this game, though, for St. Joe's, if they want to pull out a win, I'm not going to, sit up here and say it's Nate Bailey. Nate Bailey is one of the most important players of this game. But who is going to step up when Nate is getting double-teamed all over the field? When you've got 2 guys on him when he's out wide. When you've got linebackers keeping an eye on him every time he's in the backfield. When they're crashing on him when he's in the Wildcat. I like the next most athletic guy on this offense, Stalin Nolden.
Yeah.
This kid, when you need a big play, and it's not Nate Bailey, it is Stalin. He is able to go down the field. He's able to run crisp routes. He's got really, really good hands. But Stalin, in recent weeks, has shown up and really come through with a couple big-time performances. So, in the last game between Bosco and Joe's, he only went for 4 and 31 through the air. So, a little bit of a quiet day. I'm sure those guys at St. Joe's are maybe going to try and scheme up a couple ways to get Stalin the ball in some one-on-one scenarios. That could be a big hinge in this game.
I got another one.
Okay.
I think I'm along the same lines. The guy that I think who could pop off a 70-yard touchdown at MetLife is David Forster.
For sure.
He's a guy, they ran a nice little jet sweep to him to set up, I think, Joe's second touchdown. And they also ran a reverse flea flicker that he almost made like a 60-yard catch on. He's a guy that big play, home run swing. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see David Forster in the end zone making a massive play. So I guess if you're really as excited about this game as we are, I would go back into the YouTube archives, watch the Joe's Bergen game.
For sure.
Rainy conditions. St. Joe's massively outgained Don Bosco, yet the Ironmen figured out a way to win, and the Ironmen's defense has been unbelievable. So as we transition now to Don Bosco, the number 1 team in New Jersey, a chance to complete a perfect season. They have now shown up on the national radar. I've seen them getting some rankings, rightfully so. And here we go again. Don Bosco with a chance to be the best team in New Jersey. They have one more big hill to climb.
It's been 10 years since the last state championship at Don Bosco, and that was the first thing that I said in the preseason camp countdown feature on Don Bosco was there's a 2015 banner up in that gym. Every other team has won a state championship. Lacrosse, basketball, baseball. Saw Nikki Becker the other day at the Bosco game, came over and said hi to me. These are all guys, these are all programs that have won state championships. Bosco's football team is not done that in 10 years. It's pretty remarkable to think about. And they are one win away from doing it. Bosco is 11-0, potentially about to be 12-0. Everything is going right. And I feel very confident in saying that this is the best defense in New Jersey. And that is not a hot take. It's not going to be anybody banging on my door on Thursday morning, me saying this. That is the best.
It's a safe take.
It's a safe take. And but it's a legit take. It's the best defense in New Jersey. And the go-to guys on this defense, Matt Acapinti and Mekhi Allen. Matt is the ringleader of this defense, a UCF commit. Everything starts with him when he's just about in on every tackle. He had a pick on Trey Taliaferri in the Bergen Catholic game the other day. So Matt he's a very smart football player. He's sideline to sideline linebacker. He's going to be in on just about everything. But Mekhi Allen, I am out of superlatives for Mekhi Allen. I get such a kick out of his dad. His dad always stands on the opposing sideline from Bosco, and he's always dancing around, really energetic guy. And Mekhi scored on I'm going to call it a scoop and score. The ball never touched the ground.
It's technically an interception,
Technically an interception,
right?
Yeah. I think everybody thought it hit the ground, but it popped out of Trey's hands, and Mekhi scored, and Mr. Allen came over and grabbed me, and he's like, we got 6. I said, yeah, I've been asking for 6 from Mekhi because I wanted to see him get into the zone.
We needed a first play when Mekhi Allen commits. We needed a first play on his highlight reel.
That was it.
That was it. I said, that's going to be the opener.
That was 1,000% it. This is one of the most impressive, intimidating high school football players I've ever seen. Nicest kid in the world, sweetheart kid, but you get inside those lines, man, you do not want anything to do with Mekhi Allen. Big, fast, strong, athletic. I mean, he does not look like he should be playing linebacker in high school. He's such an impressive kid, such an impressive player. This is the guy that...
He's a 40-offer bidding war NIL kid, is what
God.
he is.
That's exactly what he is. Yes, to a T. And he's the kind of kid you would build your program around because he's a nice kid. He's, very locked in. He's all about business. These are some of the guys for Don Bosco. But the X factor for me, and this is a guy who did not have the best first quarter against Bergen Catholic, and at times, has missed a couple throws here and there. But Carson Shane looked like, a 3-year veteran, varsity veteran in the second half of that Bergen Bosco game, standing tall in the pocket, under pressure, everything collapsing on him, throwing a strike, 46 yards to JT Gerasi, big touchdown to help Bosco take the lead. Going into the fourth quarter, had a 40-yard pass to Isaiah Alvarez. So Carson, Bosco's going to run the ball, and they're going to make sure that they don't want to turn it over. But if Carson is able to harness some of these big plays and make them happen, this could be the recipe to success for Don Bosco, because when the defense gets up and Carson goes out there and he's able to play with some confidence, he's able to lean on that defense, lean on his playmakers, that could be a big reason why. So I like Carson Shane as the X factor, as a guy that could really potentially take over.
He has shown a lot of maturity for a sophomore playing at this level. And let's address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
This game is being played at MetLife Stadium. His dad happens to be the general manager of the New York Football Giants. It's one thing to kind of go in there and the thrill of, oh my God, I'm playing in an NFL stadium. It's another thing to say, hey, I'm playing in Dad's office.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. The Giants, I'm sure, the players are aware of Carson. Are we going to have a Jameis sighting? Are we going to have a Jackson Dart sighting? That's all great and well. That's you and I go, hey, look who's over here. Look who's over there. Carson's just got to stay locked in.
Yes.
This is the biggest game of his life, and he's playing at his dad's office. That's heavy stuff. I think the kid has really conducted himself really well. He needs to do that. Don't get all riled up. I'm sure his focus, he's got to be laser focused.
Yes.
And that's going to be the key, because the wonderful script is him and Dad hugging at midfield and state championship of Giants. He's got work to do to get there.
Massive amount of work. Yeah, look, you got to go against Joe's again and take care of them. The St. Joe's defensive line week after week has gotten better and better and better. Cam Amy, Chaz Gray, Taj Gray, looking at guys that love to rush the quarterback and make it very difficult. They do a really, really good job at that. So he's going to have to stand in tough and handle the offense under pressure. Bosco has the run game. I love Kasai Thomas. Thomas, boy, oh boy.
I saw him at Aquinas.
Yeah.
I talked him up. Remember I sent you a clip?
You did.
I said this guy's going to be in the mix.
He's going to be in the mix. He has earned his spot in the mix. Dante DeLuca recently just committed to Columbia as a wrestling recruit. So you got a couple guys there in the backfield that are very safe with the ball, but very explosive with the ball. Yeah, look, I mean, this is I'm so glad we're getting this game. This is going to be a lot of fun. Joe's last state championship was in 18. Bosco's last was in 15. So both of these programs are hungry for a non-public A championship, and somebody's going to be hoisting that trophy.
4 games at MetLife on Friday, 2 on Sunday at Rutgers. We will have all the highlights, all the post-game reaction. The NJSAA kind of puts us on a highlight limit, which you and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I would like to I'm willing to get arrested for showing too many highlights. Like, I would be willing to be the martyr and say, Rich Chrampanis from Jersey Sports Zone got arrested. Why? Because he showed 6 minutes of Joe's Bosco highlights.
Yeah.
I think that would help our brand.
It would.
I think everybody in North Jersey would rally around us. See, actually, if you got arrested, it'd be better, because I think they would riot the streets of North Jersey.
No.
But look, we'll play by the rules.
Yeah,
we'll make it work.
We're good boys.
Yeah. We play by the rules, and we're going to have all the highlights legally allowed.
Yes.
Coming up on Friday and Sunday, and make sure you check it out. Let's take longest podcast in history.
For sure.
I'm not apologizing for it. We got to give a little love to soccer, and then we'll wrap it up after that. So, little state soccer recap, and thanks again for listening, and we'll get ready for another big weekend of football here coming up on JerseySportsZone.com.
It's really nice to be in a situation, in a place where there are very good people who take good care of people.
Orthopedics it's not about saving lives, it's about saving quality of life.
A lot of people, we live high-stress lives, so if you tell someone they can't do something for whatever reason, that's pretty traumatic.
I really take pride in trying to be empathetic and trying to put myself in every patient's shoes.
I want to take care of people like I'd want to take care of my family. And I think that when you do that and give somebody that family feeling and give them your honest opinion for what you would do, they value that.
It's time for another Blast from the Past, brought to you by the Heldridge, New Brunswick's only 4-star hotel.
Hey everyone, I'm James Mooney. Micah Ford went for 150 yards and a touchdown to help Stanford beat rival Cal. Back in 2022, Jay Cook saw Ford lead Toms River North to the inaugural Group 5 state title.
Ford rolls left and finds Cameron Thomas for a 24-yard touchdown. Toms River North makes a splash early, and the Mariners lead 7-0 after 1. This is 4th down. Tech is running a double reverse, but it's snuffed out by Jalen Matthews and Ty Boland. That's a bruising hit for a turnover on downs. Micah Ford is known for his running, but he was slinging it on Sunday. Ford uncorks a deep shot. Nasir Jackson brings it in. 45 yards on the touchdown. Micah Ford is putting New Jersey on notice with 3 first-half touchdown passes. It's 21-0 Toms River North at the half.
Blast from the Past is brought to you by the Heldridge, New Brunswick's only 4-star hotel and a preferred hotel of Rutgers football fans since 2005. The Heldridge helps you make the most of your game day weekend, providing premium accommodations in the cultural heart of downtown New Brunswick. Restaurants, bars, theaters, parks, museums, and more are only steps away. Whether you're traveling alone or with a large group, book your stay at the Heldridge and make the most of your game day weekend.
Well, we just had a long breakdown of all the state championships coming up in football. Jay, over the weekend, you and I were both at Franklin High School as the high school soccer season officially came to an end. When it comes to the guys, we saw two real dominant programs. You saw West Orange, I saw Ramapo, and then we had two other great ball games as well.
Yeah, look, West Orange really evolved into an awesome high school soccer team, man. They are an incredibly coached team. Coach Nevins has had these kids locked in from day one. Shout out to West Orange. They are going to end the year in the national top 10 rankings. That's what they
Rightfully
did.
so.
Rightfully so. All their senior stars, everybody that played a big role for them and helped build this program back up to a state championship level, delivered. Carl Hall had the last goal of West Orange's season in a 5-0 win over North Brunswick in the Group 4 state championship. Marcus Jackson had a goal in this game as well. UCLA commit. They were just so excited and so overjoyed about the journey that they took. The games that they were in, how battle-tested this team was really, really impressive. So West Orange closes the year as the #1 public school in New Jersey and a top 10 team in the country. So an incredible season from the Mountaineers.
And then the Ramapo Raiders, they're probably setting the tone, hopefully, for maybe what the football team could do.
Yeah.
They came out, took on a Middletown South team that reached the state finals for the first time ever. Shore Conference champs, had an incredible year. They ran into a buzzsaw, and you saw Ramapo handle business. Madison got an overtime win over Robbinsville. Glen Ridge a win in Group 1. All those highlights are posted on jerseysportszone.com. And then you get to Saturday. Pretty interesting things that transpired. The last game of the season, I pulled this up, Jake, because I got fascinated.
Yeah.
Shore Regional gets a 2-1 win over Verona. Jenna Eichenbaum has both goals.
That's a name we know pretty well, isn't it?
The second goal, yes. The second goal was in the top 10. Unbelievable free kick.
Yeah.
She finishes with 30 goals. And as you said, Jay, you're like, boy, Eichenbaum, I've seen that name. You go back and look. This family has done a lot for Shore Regional Soccer.
Oh, my gosh.
You've got Jenna, who's just played her last high school game. She finishes her career with 69 goals and 24 assists. Older brother Max Eichenbaum was on the 2023 first ever boys soccer state championship team. Julia Eichenbaum, 3 state championships, 2015, 2016, 2017. She played D1 soccer at the University of Illinois.
Wow.
So when you add it all up, the Eichenbaums have won 5 state championships, 160 goals, and 88 assists.
I think they need to put the Eichenbaum wing to the Shore Regional Athletic Hall of Fame, right? To just induct them all at once, I think.
Absolutely. But I just couldn't believe that family. And, if you're Coach Motis, I think you got to go, are there any more?
Yeah.
Do we have any more Eichenbaums running around?
Couple cousins, maybe?
Ocean Border, West Long Branch. So I thought that was really neat. I wanted to shout out Shore Regional winning that Group 1 title. And then the Chatham-Shawnee game was off the charts.
Ridiculous.
I think Amanda Thornton's one of the best players in the state. Rutgers women's soccer does a great job of picking in-state talent, and I'm excited to see what she's going to do for the Scarlet Knights. And I found funny there, they won a state title 2 years ago. Head coach Anthony Coriali says after the game that he's got the Jay Cook beard.
Okay.
It's very similar.
Sure.
And so I guess the stakes were on Friday. These seniors who have now won 2 state championships says, hey, coach, if we win the state championship, will you shave your beard? And
no.
And it's happening.
Oh, no.
It's happening. I feel like we need to get a before and after. But,
yeah, for sure.
He was happy to do it.
Okay.
They were down 2-1 with 7 minutes to go. Controversial call. Watch the highlights.
Yes.
On the corner. They convert 2 corner kicks. Absolute incredible execution. Chatham wins the state championship. The Ramsey girls dominated to start the day. What a team they had.
They are awesome, man.
Yeah, and then Livingston wins in PKs against Cherokee. So it was a great Sunday of girls soccer. Make sure you check out all those highlights on jerseysportszone.com. And one final note, our plays of the year, our goals of the year, guys and girls, and our saves of the year, they're on right now.
Yes.
Watch those reels. Check out the best of the best captured by our cameras and tell us what you think the number one play is. But thanks again. What a great season in New Jersey high school soccer, Jay.
An incredible soccer season. 2 national number one programs, a bunch of other teams ending up in the national rankings, West Orange, Ramsey. People don't talk about New Jersey high school soccer as a powerhouse state, but this year really proved the point that it is. So just an incredible season from all those soccer players.
We'll head for home and wrap things up when we return.
Comprehensive, academic, and award-winning. New Jersey deserves nothing less. Learn more at rwjbh.org/US News.
Buffalo Wild Wings has teamed up with Jersey Sports Zone to honor high school athletes across the state with gift cards. We'll have Buffalo Wild Wings Player of the Game interviews all year long. Visit Buffalo Wild Wings locations in North Brunswick, Bridgewater, West Windsor, Flemington, Brick, and Toms River. A special thanks to the Munson Restaurant Group for supporting New Jersey high school athletes and Jersey Sports Zone. All right, Jay, as we head into Thanksgiving, we won't do like the what am I thankful for, shtick.
Sure.
We're thankful for a lot of things. Thankful for this guy, and I know you're going to enjoy time with your family on Thanksgiving before we get back into football mode. I had the chance to go last Thursday before all the football started.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great way to start the week. The Toms River North Unified team, special needs athletes, played against Wall at RWJ Barnabas Health's Field of Dreams. So I want to start out, they're our sponsor, but I got to tell you, what RWJ Barnabas Health has done for this facility in Toms River.
Top notch.
It's incredible. You think of all the things that folks have to deal with when they're dealing with special needs, to be able to go to a place where these kids can be kids, the playground, everything is, state of the art, super safe, totally designed for these kids to just be kids. And part of that, just one part of that, is this field where you can play a little flag football. And the thing that struck me is coming up on Friday, when that Group 5 state championship game kicks off, that marks the end of Toms River North's reign as 3-year state champions. I'm watching some of Coach Oz's kids working with these special needs kids. Every Friday morning in gym class, they're running plays to get them ready for this game.
That's incredible, man.
And so I'm laughing because I've seen this now 2 years in a row, and hey, there's a lot of running, maybe a little reverse in there. These Toms River kids are throwing a ball around the pitch. I joked with the Toms River North guys. I said, is Coach Oz seeing this? I said, we gotta put some plays in here. But the thing that I admired so much is these kids are, I'm talking about the Toms River North players, are completely giving these kids their undivided attention, and they're not just going out there and just going through the motions. They really, and Declan Roonan from Toms River North, he said to me, these kids are walking on the stage like me in June. They're my classmates.
Yeah.
And I didn't see anybody looking at their phone. Nobody was texting or Snapchatting or Instagramming. And there were a lot of Toms River North kids that came out and cheered and made sure that was a special day for those kids. And it moved me. And I'm just excited that to see, you get bummed out. Like I just saw a bunch of people on Instagram making fun of a goalie or something. Everybody's Ronaldo on Instagram, right? It bums me out because I'm like, I'm worried about the kids and all this stuff. But then you see these kids at Toms River North doing that, making sure that day was special, and it's really a cool thing to see. And it's a reminder that what these kids are doing on the field, the skill's going to apply to stuff besides the game itself. And I saw it firsthand. I texted Coach Oz. I said, hey, you got great kids at Toms River North. I knew that already, but that was such a cool thing to see, Jay.
It's incredible, man. For their season to be over with, and football now being a thing in the past for a lot of these guys, to still go out there and still assist and help everybody play and enjoy the game of football. That's a pretty beautiful thing. So shout out to the Mariners, shout out to Toms River North and Wall as well, right? I mean, everybody getting involved in this and making it happen. That's a really beautiful thing.
That's a great way to end this episode. Thanks for listening to us. Enjoy the time with your family on Thanksgiving. Get ready for state championship football. We'll be back next week to break it all down. He's Jay Cook. I'm Rich Chrampanis. This has been episode 13 of Beyond the Score, brought to you by our good friends at RWJ Barnabas Health.
If you have chronic joint or back pain, this is probably where you spend your time. Might we suggest a better destination that's close to home? RWJ Barnabas Health, where orthopedic surgeons designed the surgical implants that are now used around the world, and where you'll be cared for by the same doctors that treat professional athletes and rising stars. Get back to what you've been missing. Orthopedic care. Do it right. Here, RWJ Barnabas Health.